Dr. Looney, I think we're on to item 1.02.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam President. I'm going to call Cliff Jones to the forefront. I would just like to preface this. Board members, we began this conversation well before COVID, so we're picking up where we had left off on the possibility of adding a K-8 facility to the portfolio of schools that the board offers the public. Mr. Jones.
Board President Bernath, Vice President Bryant, board members, and Superintendent Looney. I'm excited to present the benefits of adding the K-8 model to the FCS's portfolio of schools. This effort aims to create schools with, number one, with more intentionally focused academics, number two, with stronger relationships both in and outside the building, and number three, schools with a greater sense of belonging for students, families, and for staff. These three areas will be explained in detail throughout the presentation. When one looks across the educational landscape, the K-8 model is familiar. Many of us, including me, attended K-8 schools in our own educational journey. Today, the K-8 model can be found in charter schools, private schools, urban public schools, and internationally. These schools are successful for students and communities that they serve. However, one of the biggest hindrances for districts that need to enter or re-enter this space is related to capital programming. As Mr. Burke will explain later, we have an opportunity to address this challenge. This is truly exciting because K-8 as a model is built on excellent instructional practices systemically and programmatically. It minimizes aspects of transitions and other variables which have hampered student success in some of our school communities. By retaining the high quality instruction of FCS and adding a K-8 school to our portfolio, we have an opportunity to better serve our students, our communities, and offer another high quality choice for parents. What would a K-8 school look like in Fulton? Well, first, it'd actually be a pre-K through 8. That means a stable, productive educational connection for 10 years in the life of a child. 10 years. Think of the ultimate benefits that strong foundation could bring to students. Next, the school would be similar in physical size to the schools in our portfolio, but the smaller grade levels would be very unique. We all know that the benefits of smaller, more personalized environments for students, as well as for many of our parents and community members, is sustainable. Third, this model allows kids to be kids for longer, and it allows them to lessen the impact of social distractions associated with middle schools. Another one of the benefits that jumps off the page for me is that the K-8 model allows more leadership opportunities for our students, including those grade levels that in other models would be transitioning, like the 6th grade. In this, a 6th grader would have time to focus on being a leader, less on about new routines, new teachers, new environments, new lockers, new lunch periods. And based on this, they would have a level of stability. And the stability would feed over into the community and parents, teachers, civic leaders, and they would know that the K-8 school in their community would provide a deeper relationship. It would be more familiar for a longer period of time. These stronger community connections serve us all well. I'll get to the specific research in a few slides, but here is what the research says are the K-8 benefits for students. This is the student page. Number one, this is where I like to begin, is the academics. Students in the K-8 model outperform their counterparts, especially in math. Number two, there's a greater sense of belonging that brings many benefits to the students. There are reductions in discipline referrals, increases in attendance. There are fewer distractions for students because of the smaller grade level enrollments. There are more positive relationships in a student's life due to the stable familiarity with adults and students and peers. This increased engagement with both adults and peers provides students a healthier culture. A culture is what we do together. And a happier school climate. A climate is how we collectively feel about what we do together. In addition to the benefits for students, K-8 models can benefit the entire school community. This slide shows school leaders, parents, teachers, and the wider civic community. For school leaders, there is a greater opportunity to deepen and develop leadership in the building, as well as to build stronger networks of support, both in and out of the building, for students and their families. For parents, their familiarity with the K-8 school routines and processes allows them to be more effective supports for their students. They know who to go to, and how to contact them because they've been there. This familiarity reduces a barrier that many of our parents feel when transitioning between schools. For teachers, the K-8 research is clear. K-8 increases teacher stability. They want to stay on. They want to be a part. This is good for student academic achievement and for maintaining community connections. The other outcome for teachers is that they have a deeper connection with their peers. This connection is foundational for high-performing professional learning communities, which in turn increase student achievement. And finally, for those outside the walls of our school, but for whom want to play a vital part inside the walls, they know that they can play a part. They know who to go to, how to go to, and over time, they're a deeper, more connected community as a result of this type of model. Like I foreshadowed earlier, the research. There have been decades of investigations and research into K-8. The success of this model, as well as other educational models, is founded in high-quality instruction, point blank. An unwavering focus on high standards and curriculum and instruction aligned with those standards, and making sure that there's good teachers in the building. That serves every model. The research from the American Association of School Administrators and the National School Board Association lifts up 3 urban districts that adopted this strategy in the 90s and 2000s. They were in Baltimore, Philadelphia, and Milwaukee. The research was positive and clear. In the basis of the 2 previous slides, you saw that it highlighted the academic achievement increases, especially in math, as compared to the other group that went on to middle school. I'd also like to remind the public that FCS has been a successful manager of K-8 models and our own charters for more than 15 years. For instance, Amana Academy is a nationally and state recognized K-8 in our FCS charter portfolio since 2005. We have the instructional expertise, the managerial expertise, and the curricular excellence that both the research and our experience tells us that we can create positive outcomes for students in this model. Closing out my section, then I'll give it to Mr. Burke, we have an opportunity. We have parents who are asking for this model in a traditional school setting. We see wait lists in our charter schools in the K-8 model. We have schools that are daily handling problems related to transition and mobility that this could solve. We have hardworking teachers and leaders who are moving the needle of student achievement through instructional excellence that this could help. And we have students who could benefit from a structural, systematic solution that augments the hard work of the everyday classroom, our schools, and our communities to their benefit. The opportunity is in front of us to systemically address these challenges and better serve our students through this K-8 model. And finally, one of the biggest barriers to successful K-8 models, like I mentioned in the past, a capital program, Mr. Burke is going to explain how this is not a barrier for us. This is an opportunity.